Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Allison if you're new here, and today I am doing a last minute Amazon birthday prep. Now my husband's birthday is what we are decorating for and getting ready for. In this video, I'm going to share all of the things that Amazon kind of saved my butt on by being able to order and get really quick with one-day shipping. I'm talking wrapping paper, birthday candles, birthday gifts, decorations, balloon garlands, everything birthday related to celebrate my husband came in pretty much last minute from Amazon. And it might sound bad that this is a last minute prep for my husband's birthday, like I obviously should know this date, but we had been traveling, and by we I mean just my daughter and I. We had been traveling for 3 weeks prior to this. Christian was away on a work trip, so I went home with Maddie to go visit my family. So I had to first get the house back in order after being away for almost a full month. So first thing I am doing before we even get started on the party prep is unpacking our big suitcase. Now, I learned a ton while traveling with a 4-month-old, and my favorite hack for traveling with her in the airport, especially if you're going to be flying just one-on-one with you and your baby, the way back home I had a connecting flight and no other help besides myself. My mom helped us fly out to Florida, but it was just me and Maddie on the way back home. And the biggest tip and the most helpful thing was that we checked a bag. So we put all of our stuff in a checked bag, crossed our fingers and hoped that it would arrive there, and then I had only my carry-on backpack. So I have 2 backpacks out here. One is my smaller diaper bag, and I actually had the cute diaper bag just tucked away in my checked bag, and then I had this larger backpack for all of our essentials for surviving in the airport. So lots of diapers, wipes, changes of clothes, snacks, those kinds of things stayed in that backpack, and it was so nice because I was hands-free with all of our carry-on supplies. And then I had a travel stroller that Maddie was in, and it was super easy to navigate the airport with just that setup. But that's not why I clicked on this video. This video is about the birthday prep, and like I said, my husband's birthday was last minute because I had been away for so long. So Amazon totally came in clutch and saved our butts on this day. Since I was visiting my parents, I obviously had access to a washer and dryer, and I loved this little hack. Obviously, it doesn't always make sense, but for this long of a trip, we did all of our laundry right before we left. We had a nighttime flight, so that morning I washed all of our dirty clothes, and so everything in the suitcase, except for maybe a small handful of items, were clean and ready to be just folded and put away. That way, I did not have a mountain of laundry to be coming home to. So that was a super nice perk. I basically emptied the suitcase and just got to fold and put everything away. And then also I just did a little bit of tidying up around the house. Things obviously got a little bit messy, and in the scramble of getting back home from a late night flight with the baby, you just want to get this baby to bed and just leave behind whatever mess is left behind.
I don't think we got enough time to sort out all the fights, to sort out all the lies. Oh baby, yeah. There was a part of me that knew that, and still I'm caught by surprise. I thought you'd always be mine. I guess our dreams fell asleep. There's no passion in the coma.
Bucky was also very happy that we were home too.
Down, 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 down. Tried so hard to stay afloat. Yeah, we keep moving like the river goes. Baby, going down, 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 down. Yeah. And I thought, it's time I'm letting you go. This time I know it for sure.
There were a couple little accidents and spit ups that happened at the airport, and so I just stuffed them in these little doggy waste bags that I keep in my diaper bag, and finally came home and wanted to wash these immediately. Now, I love this hack for putting dirty clothes on the go in these bags, but I learned the hard way that you really do not want to leave the clothes sitting in these bags for too long. I left out something sitting in the bag for maybe 2 or 3 days, and it was so nasty and just moist when I opened it and disgusting. So I love this hack, but also wash it as soon as possible. And then after I did this quick load of baby laundry, the washing machine told me that it was ready for a self-clean cycle, so I just added a little bit of OxyClean. I'm sure there's something specific that I'm supposed to use, but I've always just done this, and then I clicked onto the self-clean mode.
Down, 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 down. Tried so hard to stay afloat. Yeah, we keep moving like the river goes. Baby, going down, 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 down. Yeah. And I thought
Now, one more tip that I had about flying with this baby, and sorry if this is not what you clicked onto this video for, I promise there's going to be tons of Amazon party prep. I just thought it would be worthwhile sharing all of this unpacking and cleaning. But baby girl is exclusively breastfeeding, and I did have my mom with me on the flight out to Florida, and we had a whole road to ourselves, which was super great and just super lucky that that happened. So breastfeeding on the plane over to Florida wasn't that awkward. It was pretty straightforward. Maddie was a little bit uncomfortable. She didn't eat very long, and it was different than what she's used to, which makes sense. And so on the way back, I got a little bit smarter, and I decided at the airport to just hand pump a bottle for her. So I fed her at the airport. I hand pumped a bottle that would be ready for us for the flight back. That way it was just easier to feed her. And I'm very glad I did, because the flights were completely full on the way back out. And so I was sitting next to strange men for both of these flights. And there's nothing wrong with breastfeeding in public. It's just my personal comfort level with it, as I would rather not do that. And I also don't want to be like putting my baby's feet in somebody else's lap or their spot. So to be a little more considerate to everybody and to make Maddie more comfortable while she was eating, the bottle was the way to go on the flight home. And now the last thing to do is put away all of the clean clothes in our bedroom. I do love the hack of washing our clothes before we left, but it does kind of leave you a little bit more work when you unpack, because normally I can just dump the entire suitcase into the laundry basket, but then you have to do all the laundry and everything. So this kind of cut out one of the steps, but the upfront work was a little bit greater, if you understand what I'm saying.
I've been holding on, I wouldn't let you go, 'cause every time I try you find a loophole. I've been slamming the door and just leave you go. When I come back, you've heated up the South Pole. You see my body rush for the escape, while my heart wants to stay. Push or pull, and I am going mad just like you knew I would. You're reading me like an open book. You know me better than I ever thought you could. You see my body rush for the escape, while my heart wants to stay.
Now the last thing to clean up and put away is all of my makeup and toiletries, and thankfully my bathroom organization is so simplified that this takes almost no time at all. I'll link a video here if you want to see our full bathroom organization and tour. And now onto the party prep. First thing I'm doing is getting all of the Amazon boxes opened. We had a lot of packages coming in, and it was time to stop hiding these in our guest room and get busy. Christian actually had to go to work super early on his birthday, which was not fun for anybody, but I was a little bit grateful for it because it gave me more time to do all of this party prep, because most of these packages came in the night before and we were hanging out, so it wasn't really the best time to start planning and getting things together. So first thing I need to do is just open everything that we have for this party. Now you saw me pull out some wrapping paper and birthday candles and balloons. One little tip that I have for finding things on Amazon last minute is there's a little filter you can turn on that has either 1 day or 2 day shipping as an option, because some of the items that I found were super cute on Amazon, but I was literally cutting it down to the last minute. It was literally hours that I had available for the stuff to come in, so I really needed to make sure everything coming in was either 1 day or 2 day shipping, so I had that filter turned on and it made shopping for these items even quicker. Now you might notice a couple things. I also had some gifts coming in from Christian. Madeline bought some daddy-daughter books to give to him. My parents bought Christian a pair of Birkenstocks. Some gifts came in from his brother and his sister-in-law, and so I had some other small things mixed in there besides the party prep, but all the party prep supplies I will link down below. Also, you might be able to spot Bucky hanging out. He was very curious. He is our #1 box investigator. Any box that enters this house, Bucky has to sniff, has to make sure it's safe for us. He's always looking out for us. But now that everything is unboxed, it's time to get busy with wrapping these gifts. This day my plan of attack was to do the most important things first because Christian might have been coming home from work early, and so the worst thing would have been all of these gifts just laying out and him walking in. So priority #1 for the birthday prep was to get all of these gifts wrapped and hidden, because worst case scenario, he came home early and at least all of the presents were wrapped and ready.
But you didn't even have to try, 'cause you can start a fire without a spark. Forget what I told you, forget all about that tonight. Just remember the flame, you remember the flame, alright. Forget what I told you, forget all about that tonight. Just remember the flame, you remember the flame, alright.
The one thing I was probably most hesitant about buying from Amazon was the wrapping paper, and so this 4-pack of birthday themed wrapping paper really surpassed any expectations I had. I figured it would be one of those rolls of wrapping paper that has like literally 3 feet of wrapping paper on them, and it was going to be overpriced and just a total dud, but I was so happy that it was high quality, really nice prints, and then also a ton of wrapping paper. So I think it was like $20-ish, somewhere around there for the 4 rolls, but I think it was well worth it, and I definitely have lots of wrapping paper left over after this, whereas I thought like I would go through all 4 rolls just to wrap these gifts up.
Would you be there for me if I'm flying straight into the sun? Blinded by the light I'm chasing, that has happened before. And maybe you don't know for sure, but you can start a fire without a spark.
One more birthday hack I have for you guys is I had a lot of good gift ideas to give Christian because we keep a running wish list for Amazon and our Amazon cart. So if you ever add anything to your Amazon cart online, there's a little button clicked save for later, and it basically takes it out of your cart so you can't accidentally check out and buy it right away, but it just puts it down below in another category. And so Christian and I are always adding different things to this, either things we find that we want to buy for future home projects or future garage makeovers for Christian or car stuff or whatever. And so we always kind of have a running wish list or things that we want to eventually buy for Amazon. And so shopping for a couple small gifts for him was a lot easier because I was able to go down to his little save for later list and pick out a few things for cleaning and detailing the car. He's really into making sure our cars are clean and well taken care of, which I am so grateful for. And so I'm pretty sure the Detail Geek here on YouTube is really popular, and some of his products or like recommended cleaning supplies were on the save for laters, and it was super lucky that they also came with 2-day shipping.
Just remember the flame, you remember the flame, alright. Don't talk about
Now, a pair of Birkenstocks were the last gift that I was wrapping for this day. A lot of the other presents that I got Christian were going to be coming in a little bit later because, like I said, I didn't want packages just piling at our front door when we weren't going to be here. So I've jokingly deemed this birth week instead of just birthday because the rest of his gifts were coming throughout the week. So we have been having an ongoing celebration, but back to celebrating the actual birthday and moving on to some decorations. I have always wanted to do a balloon garland or a balloon arch and buy one of these balloon inflators, and I am so glad I finally have a good excuse to do it. Well, I guess we've had birthdays before, but in my mind, I'm definitely going to be using this for parties for Madeline and all of her birthdays that are going to be coming and any future babies, and so I thought, why not buy it now, use it for Christian, test out this balloon garland, and just figure out how this whole thing works. And it was so simple. Basically, you just pull this out of the box, plug it in, take your balloons, and then you just press down on the inflator hole, and then it just automatically blows air into it. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy, and it made this process immensely faster. I don't even want to know how many balloons I actually blew up or how long it would have taken me to do this myself. So I'm glad I had this. It was a pretty cheap investment to have for future birthday parties. And one more thing that I did buy from Amazon is a separate bag full of balloon garland tape. Basically, to make the arches and the balloon garlands, you need like this long, thin plastic thing that has holes in it. You basically just stick through the ends of the balloon and they stay in there, and then you can just cut it to whatever length you want it to be and then fill it up with all of the balloons. And I bought a separate pack of them because I didn't realize the pack of balloons that I ordered on Amazon also came with one. So if you like this red pack of balloons, don't worry about ordering the balloon tape. It comes with its own, so that's super easy and nice. But also, I'm not mad that I have leftover balloon tape to do a future garland or future celebrations. I'm thinking we might host 4th of July for some friends, and that would be a super fun and extra thing to do. So this is just a fun way to like add a little bit of decorations and something unique for any like parties or celebrations. And it's definitely as fun and as exciting to make and put together, and makes a big impact in the space.
What I do is try to give you more than words. When I say I quit, it's only 'cause it hurts. We got places we can go to figure out what we've done, what we need to do. Yeah, I got you.
Now for actually setting up our house, I wanted to make the living room the main birthday area, and I love having cute wrapping paper that all kind of matches because it just adds to the decor. So on our entertainment stand, I was adding all of his wrapping paper and packages and everything, and it just looks super festive and fun, especially with ribbons and tissue paper and all of that. And then I'm going to hang the balloon garland over the TV and then drape it down the side. While I was doing this, I realized how bare this wall in our house kind of seems. There's Madeline. She's helping me film this voiceover. But I'm trying to think, I feel like I should be adding more to this wall. So let me know down in the comments, besides the birthday party stuff, if there's any decor or like ideas you have that I could add to fill in this space a little bit more.
Every soul, every season lives outside of status quo. If we stop believing we're meant to be, expanding our abilities. If the passion's gone, we are doing it wrong. Baby, you and I should start living now. With the whole world at our feet, we could stay or we could.
Now to hang the balloon garland, I was hoping I'd be able to just push pin the balloon tape straight into the wall, but the balloon stuck out far enough that it wasn't gonna reach, so I ended up grabbing some of the ribbon that I used for wrapping the presents, and I basically cut it out a bracelet-sized circle of ribbon, and then I tied that to the garland and then stuck the push pin through that, if that makes sense. Basically, a little circle of the ribbon tied to the balloon tape with the push pin through that. I hope that makes sense. Basically, I just MacGyvered this and did my best to make it stick to the wall because I wasn't super worried about it staying up forever, but it has been 4 days since I installed the balloon garland and it is still going strong.
We are close, can you feel it? Something is behind the clouds. We just have to believe it, that we can make the sun come out. Let us lose ourselves in a fairy tale. Who can say what's wrong or right? We're the only ones who can decide.
I've had this happy birthday banner for years from the dollar store, and I had the idea of hanging this on the balloon garland, but then I realized it wouldn't lay flat and it would be all kinds of different letters pointing in different directions, so I ended up just kind of nixing the idea and just not using this garland, even though it has served us well for many years. Super versatile and super basic, and something that I love to just keep on hand to make anything a little more festive in the last minute. And here's the final look of all of the birthday setup. It's super festive and still thrown together at the very last minute. Now, moving on to the most important part of birthdays, cake. I had found a recipe online for like what claimed to be the most moist, delicious chocolate cake ever, and so I like to write it down in a notebook or on a sticky note before I actually start baking it because I hate looking at a recipe on my phone and then the phone screen goes dark and back and forth. So I wrote that down, and then also the only ingredient that I didn't have in my pantry already was instant espresso powder, but the recipe online had another recipe link to actually make your own, and it was pretty straightforward. Basically, you just re-roast coffee beans beans. So here I had coffee beans, and I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be espresso beans, but these are just regular beans from Costco. And then you roast them in the oven at 200 degrees for a full hour, and then you grind them up. We have this very extra hand grinder because Christian loves to make a really nice cup of coffee in the morning, and it does make a difference to have fresh ground coffee, so that's a little tip for you if you're a big coffee person. So I just ground all of that up and then put it in a plastic container to save for later. And now I'm going to start throwing together the cake mix. I will have the whole recipe linked down below for you guys, but I can attest to this being a very, very delicious but simple cake to make. There's also nothing wrong with going with a box mix of cake. This was actually just the easiest option for me because I didn't have a box mix of cake in our pantry, and I actually had almost every single ingredient for this cake recipe on hand.
We're moving through the night like we're from a different star, flying over streets and our broken hearts. But they can't even touch us, we found a different beat. Paradise is waiting and we bought the lead. Ooh, getting caught in the mist, there's so many that never get out of. They're feeding the fears and the doubts. Ooh, but we're golden, we run to the end and we run without shame. We own the game, and we ride on the flame.
Now the cake mix looks super dry and thick at this point, but the secret ingredient in this recipe is adding at the very end a cup of boiling water, and this will melt all of the chocolate and the coffee flavors together, and when mixed together creates a nice thin batter and a super moist cake.
We're from a different time, yeah, we're of a different breed. Cause what we got is timeless, we supersede. And we hold in the key, yeah, we're tight as can be. We're rolling.
After the cakes baked for 30 minutes, I left them out to cool and got started on making the frosting, and I used the same exact frosting from the website the cake recipe was from. It was recommended and had pretty similar ingredients, including the espresso powder that we made earlier and lots of cocoa powder. It's also just a simple buttercream, so it's basically a lot of butter, sugar, cocoa powder, vanilla, a couple little extra things to make it just the right flavor, but pretty simple and straightforward.
Ain't nobody gonna hold us down. Break all the rules, slip them running high. Baby, cause we're dynamite. Gonna let the world know. We're dynamite. We're dynamite.
Now assembling this cake, I'm pulling out my cake stand that I grabbed from Marshall's or Home Goods for like $10 for Christmas decorations a couple years ago, and I'm gonna go very simple on the decorations. Thankfully this party isn't for a child or following any theme, and the only request Christian had for this cake was that it was lots of chocolate, so we definitely have that done. So all I'm gonna do is stack the two cakes together and then just coat it completely in the frosting we made. And a lot of times I find that recipes online, the recipe for the frosting is like 3 times the amount of frosting I actually need, but this recipe actually did a pretty good job of keeping the frosting to cake ratio perfect.
Want to keep it nice and clean, not freak out and cause a scene. I try to hold it together, keep it together. Not sure who I really am, just be cute and super bland. I try to hold it together, keep it together. Been playing it down, but I'm so getting tired. Now won't you meet high? 'Cause I've been feeling that crazy, and I need to lose control. So baby, put the record on, baby, put the record on.
Once I had the cake fully covered in frosting, I went around the edge because this is a pretty tiny cake stand compared to the size of the cake, and just wiped off all of the extra frosting. And then the very last thing I am doing, shout out to Amazon once again for coming in clutch with 24 birthday candles exactly. So I'm gonna put these all over the top and then throw this in the fridge, and that's gonna be a wrap on our Amazon birthday prep. It was everything that I needed it to be, and I am so grateful Amazon Prime one-day shipping exists. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like and you're subscribed, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!